Morning, everybody. This is Doug Pinter on Daily Energy from Anytime Fitness, North Peoria. We got Go-To Pro, Dr. Rob Kelch with AlignLife North
today?
Peoria. Man, I'm excited. We got 71 days to Mayweather-McGregor. Lebron, super team. He's not playing on one. What? Ricky Fowler, can he bring home the U.S. Open? He's sitting at 7 under. And Sale brought so much heat in Philly last night, he set off the fire alarms in the stadium. So we'll cover that and much more. We got recap of our NBA Finals. Golden State Warriors, local boy Sean Livingston, bringing home another trophy. Did you watch any of the NBA Finals, Doc?
I watched a little bit of it. I don't get too much into the NBA, especially after, I really cared less who won that one. I just happened to see LeBron did not win.
You and Ken Allison shared the same cave, don't you?
Yeah, not a fan of the old basketball, bunch of flopping, bunch of whiny babies out there.
Well, you are one of the minority. It's this past season with the NBA Finals, they were setting records with TV ratings, everything. People were sending in some emails asking questions, so we'll tackle those along with you covering what orthotics can do for a person's health.
Yep.
I'm excited to touch on that. Let's talk a little bit about the NBA Finals. Golden State won it in 5. Finally, one of my many predictions finally came true. I said the Cubs would do great on the West Coast. They got swept. I thought Cardinals would be fantastic. They went on Matheny's longest losing streak. But your Golden State Warriors did bring home the NBA Finals in 5 games. The last game had over 24.5 million viewers. Most watched game of the year, and it's one of the top 3 games ever on the NBA. So obviously the highest ranked series was when the Bulls got beat in Game 7 back in, I think it was 88 or so. And but last year, only 20.4 million tuned into the NBA Finals, so the NBA was up 20% in viewership. So I think for a business to grow that much in that short of amount of time, I do think there is something about these super teams that draw attraction, whether you like them or you hate them. People are tuning in. I was tuning in to watch LeBron lose, quite frankly. I think he got a little...
I was hoping it was going to happen, and it did.
I think he got a little dose of his own medicine. When LeBron was asked about these super teams, he goes, I don't believe in them. I've played for a super team. I don't believe in that. What? LeBron, you're drunk. Go home.
You started a super team.
Yeah. So I did a little research. The actual first team on the docket was the 94-95 Rockets when Olajuwon and Houston won the NBA Finals in 94. Then they brought in Clyde Drexler in 95. They traded 4 other players to get All-Star Charles Barkley. But they did fall short of winning that title in 95. Yep. Then the 03-04 Lakers, you had Shaq, Kobe, Peyton, and I forgot Malone went over there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the 03-04 Lakers. Then you got the 07-08 Celtics when Paul Pierce added Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett.
But they won that one, right?
They did, yeah. Ray Allen in the corner, Game 6, hit that and pushed it to Game 7 that they won. And then in 2010-11 is when LeBron took his talents to Miami. And we all know how that worked out.
What do you think? Is he going to stick with Cleveland after 18?
I think he will stick with Cleveland. There's already talks that perhaps he has some friends in the NBA that he's trying to get 1 or 2 of them to come to Cleveland.
I think go to L.A., whether it be Clippers or Lakers.
I think he'll go out to the West Coast myself. I mean, I think with Boston getting the number 1 draft pick next year, in my opinion, besides Golden State, if they can hold all their players, I think Boston meets them in the finals. I think people forgot how talented Isaiah Thomas is.
And they're young.
First-round draft pick. Yeah, they're young and they're healthy.
Yep.
So we'll see what Boston does over the offseason. But, yeah, there you go. LeBron says he never played for a super team. Wow, what a bunch of baloney. I was happy to see Kevin Durant finally get a ring. His mom was there on the court. She hogged the camera a little bit in that post-game interview, just, like, grabbing his beard, like, you tell me how good you are. Yeah, you're my boy. But obviously exciting time. I think KD kind of handles his business quietly. You don't hear much from him. He's not the one out tweeting. Now we got Draymond Green and LeBron going back and forth. But real quick about your NBA Finals MVP. He averaged 56% from the field, 47% from three-point. He shot 93% on average from the stripe, over 8 rebounds, over 5 assists, 2 blocks a game, and he was averaging 35.2. here's my point. The cream rises to the crop on the biggest stage, and he didn't buckle. Rather, in Game 5 he increased his shooting percentage by about 15%. He shot 70% from the field, 63% from three-point land, 100% from the stripe. Pulled down 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and a 39-point, highest total for the NBA Finals for KD. I mean, he was definitely the X factor. There's no question about it.
Right.
The Cavs had no answer for him, so there you go.
Well, here's a loaded question for you.
What's up?
Who's gonna win between the old Bulls, '95 Bulls, and the Golden State of today?
I gotta take the Bulls, man.
Yeah, I think that all the old teams would send the new guys to the bench crying for their mommies.
What rules we playing?
Old school rules.
Old school rules. I think old school.
Bunch of flopping that we got nowadays. A bunch of crybabies out in the court, and that's why I don't watch the NBA.
I think Pippen would probably take Kevin Durant. Paxson would probably be on Curry. Jordan. I don't know who Jordan would cover. Probably a little bit of LeBron or Thompson.
Yeah.
I think Thompson would be on Jordan. I don't know. That's a good question. I do think the Bulls would take that. But excited for Golden State Warriors and local boy Sean Livingston bringing home the NBA championship.
It sounds like he's going to stick it with the team because it's a contract year for him, I believe.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're going to bring him back next year.
I mean, think about that. Local guy brings home a couple NBA championship trophies. That's just fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic. Dr. Rob Kelch, our go-to professional with AlignLife North Peoria in the studio on Daily Energy. So, Doc, let's talk a little bit. You know, we're talking about running up and down the court, a lot of pounding on the feet. We're going to talk about orthotics and how they can benefit people.
All right. Well, I was at a soccer tournament down there at Detweiler Park. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I think there was almost 180 teams between the ages of 10 and 18, I believe. We were just checking a lot of these players' feet out there and just going through them and all their wear and tear because they're running out and down the field nonstop.
Yeah.
Well, that causes the arch to drop with all this wear and tear, and age does this as well. When the arch starts to drop,
I tend to find as we age,
everything drops
lower.
So as the arch drops, it starts to put pressure in the. We'll kind of keep it classy here as much as we can.
Yep.
As we age, the arch drops, put some pressure into the ankle. The ankle starts to bend in what we call pronation, which in turn causes a different angle in the knee, which in turn causes a different angle in the hip and the low back. So it's all a chain reaction. So we have to make sure that foundation of the house, if you will, is all nice and leveled out between side and side, and that we have the proper support. So what we do at our office, we come in. Everybody that comes in the office for a new patient exam, we always check their feet because they may have low back pain, but it may be due to the arch in their feet. So we want to correct everything and prevent things from happening as well. So with the arch supports that we provide, we do an actual casting, so it's made just for your foot, and it's also calibrated to your weight, so it'll actually give you a little bit of spring in your step. So your arch is always supported, but it's also meant to flex with you as well as a shock absorber.
Doc, honestly, do you think if I got one of these in my shoes, I could start dunking again?
Probably not.
And
Again?
I said again.
I got
the rim once.
It got by me there for a second.
It was on an 8-footer.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, the rim was definitely lowered, huh?
You know, so the coaches up at Anytime Fitness Peoria, they get down and they're watching their clients walk on the treadmills. And I was like, what are you guys doing? Mm-hmm. Well, they're checking that support at the bottom because they find ankles will cave, knees, and it just slowly works its way up.
Yep, I'll have someone come in and we'll check the feet, and as they're cleaning up the low back pain, I'll check the feet, and I'll say, well, you have an ankle and knee pain? Well, yeah, but I'm here for the low back pain. I get that, but this is due to the foot issue.
So that answers my question. Some signs to look for people out there listening in right now.
The typical plantar fasciitis type symptoms, tenderness in the foot, notice that your ankle's starting to have aches and pains that you don't really can explain, you haven't rolled it or anything like that. Knee starts to feel a little tight. You're getting some pain on one side of the low back, not the other side. Typically what we see, belt line pain when the pelvis starts to deviate from its normal position. We see that a lot. So basically you just look at your feet from behind, and your Achilles heel, Achilles tendon should be nice and straight, but if we have an angle going in towards the knees, it means that foot's starting to drop.
So let's say someone's knees are starting to buckle in because they don't have the proper support. What does that do? Puts pressure on the inner part of the knee, outer ligaments.
Yep, it puts pressure on the inner part of the knee, outer part of the ligaments. Long term, we start to see more osteoarthritis in the knees and ankles because that joint's not working properly. Just like tires in your car, if the joints are out of alignment, it's going to wear that joint out faster, and it's going to have more wear and tear on it.
Speaking of which, I never rotate the tires on my car.
Well,
probably get that done.
You should probably do that. Looks like you had the old boo all shined up today. Even the tires shine on it. I walked by.
You know what? There's. I'm going to enroll it for this car show down here by the carnival out front.
Nice.
I mean, hold on, not to get off topic, but they got that super slide and the tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah.
I guarantee you want to go on that? I'll get sick, but I'll give it a roll.
Sure.
It's Friday.
Why not?
What else do I have to do?
I mean, I had to work all day, but.
Well, meet you at the elephant ear stand about 4 o'clock.
Well, I don't get off till 5:30, so.
Well, I'll be there early. They'll be sold out. And corn dogs? Are you kidding me?
Oh, nothing like carny food.
Down here at Chamber. Anyway, sorry to get off topic, Mike. I'll keep it professional. So, so when the guys at the club or the ladies at the club were checking their clients, I know they would find some things. They would send them over to you, and you get them all squared up. What's the process? I know you mentioned it's all
quick.
customized, too.
It's super quick. We have we take a little bit of background on them. We have to know the weight, and that's the most uncomfortable thing for the ladies. I'm like, hey, how much do you weigh? I'm like, you can't lie about this because this is best for you if you tell me your exact weight so we can calibrate these to you. But we have these boxes full of foam. We actually take the foot and put them in this foam in a certain manner that we recreate the arch that's supposed to be there, and we send them off to the manufacturer, and they get them back in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
All right, so Dr. Rob Kelch with AlignLife North Peoria up on Willow Knolls and Allen Road, right next to Khaki Jackson, behind that new Huck's gas station. We're going to come back to you, and we're going to find out some testimonials, maybe some people that got orthotics, and now some of the benefits that they're starting to see.
Right.
So some key signs if you have ankle trouble, your knees are bothering you, your hips or your lower back, that could actually be related down to the bottom of the arc of your foot. If you don't have that support, joints will start moving at different angles that they're not supposed to, wear on cartilage and ligaments. So we're going to come back and visit with Dr. Rob Kelch here in just a little bit about some of the benefits people are seeing after they get those orthotics in their shoes.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about the Chicago Cubs. Son of a gun. I have to dust the W flag off before I hang it out. It's terrible.
I just got one the other day. I haven't been sporting it. I hung it up one time this week.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
Just once. Yeah.
Just once.
That was a pretty good week. Wasn't it?
Yeah. I wasn't worried beginning of the season. Now I'm getting a little worried now. As bad as we've been playing, we're only 2 games back.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Thank God the rest of the division sucks.
2.5 games back.
Oh, 2.5 games
Cubs
back.
Cubs are 32 and 33, 2.5 back of the Brewers. Cubs, they tried Rizzo at leadoff. He was their best leadoff hitter in history.
Right.
2 games, hit a couple homers, drove in some RBIs. Just great for him. Madden says this is no long-term deal. A lot of people are putting in their lineups to me. I think, when you're sending this information in, Madden, also, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that message. If you want some questions answered, just drop me a text. Do not call. I'm not taking any calls right now. Or you can always email the show at peoriail@anytimefitness.com, and I'll get back to you with those questions. But to answer some of those haters out there, like why is Madden doing these lineups? Madden likes left, right, left, right.
Right.
It really does change the aspect of the game late in the game, which is where you really want to put the pressure on the bullpen coming out, trying to put them in an awkward position to throw strikes.
They start burning through pitchers. Every other batter gets a new pitcher, and you're going to run out of pitchers before long.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Madden says Schwarber's his guy to go to for the leadoff. He's just giving him a little bit of extra time, trying to work on seeing that ball, similar to what he did last year, in his downtime, taking a lot of BP so he can see the ball and start just putting the barrel of the bat on it. Madden, he says team's unpredictable. That's why they're under 500. It's a good product on the field. There's just a lot of moving parts, and no one is really settled in. That includes the pitching staff.
Oh, gosh. That's our weakest point.
Unbelievable. Hey, let's talk about favorite game. People were emailing in favorite game that you watched a pitcher throw for the Chicago Cubs. Here were a couple. Zambrano, the no-no.
That would have to be my
baby bull.
That was I was actually down in Davenport, Iowa. I had just got done finishing my my board exams and went down to the bar to celebrate, and that game came on. So I remember most of it.
Yeah. Hopefully you stayed in Iowa.
I stayed in Iowa. I had a buddy drive me home. But I do remember that game. It was a great game.
I like watching the baby bull just because you didn't know if he was going to strike the guy out or throw a punch at him.
Right. This is true.
And then how about Arrieta? He had 2 times no hitter.
Right. Didn't he come back early last season and have one? Like one of his first or second pitching outings?
Here's one of my favorite games I remember watching. Kerry Wood, 20 strikeouts, stacking up the Ks, out in left field, up on that. I mean, they ran out of room. The fans got innovative. Mike, you're shaking your head over there. I mean, I remember watching that game just like it was the other day. And I'll tell you what, fire up a clip of that game and just watch the command. And, I mean, 20 strikeouts, that's unbelievable.
Every time I hear Kerry Wood, though, I mean, it takes them back to 03-04 when they were playing the Marlins, man. We're back there. We got Wood and Pryor back-to-back. All we got to do is win one of those games. No problem, right? Those are our two best aces on the mound. They never lost two back-to-back games, and we blew it.
Never say never. Well, that was when Pryor, they had those fans out there with the little hair on the chin. Remember that?
Yep.
That was pretty good. Anyway, so that's my favorite memory of a Cub pitcher is Wood with the 20 strikeouts. Yours is the Baby Bull. Others hopped on that Baby Bull, and Arrieta's no-no. So Cardinal fans out there, wow, your bullpen. You guys
should be leading the division right now.
No doubt. Clearly, I think they're the best team for the first 5.5 innings of any ball game.
Right.
After that, they're just flat terrible. Bullpen issues continued last night. The Cardinals are 30-35, 4.5 back. Bullpen issues. Thames hit a 2-run homer in the 9th for the Brewers. Here's a little stat for you. Thames, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. The Brewers are 14-2 when that guy hits a home run. Hence,
there's no reason they should be in the first place.
Why would you? Well, I never saw it coming.
There's no reason they should be in first place.
Barney out in left field sliding down that slide. He's putting in OT. He thought he was going to have a cakewalk year. He's just sliding down that thing like it's his job. Brewers went 3 years without a series win against the Cardinals. They've already had 2 in the past month and a half against the Cards. So Cardinals bullpen, I do think come around the All-Star break, you're going to see a lot of shaking and baking happening.
I think the Cubs are going to move some too.
I think the Cubs will be moving. I would not be surprised to see the Brewers make a couple big deals as well. I think they really want to clinch this division to get into the playoffs.
I think we're a pretty weak division all the way around, I think.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's playing up to the stature that they thought. I think the Brewers are actually, I apologize, I think the Brewers are exceeding expectations.
Absolutely.
Cubs and Cards are nowhere near.
I think the Cardinals are right where everybody predicted, though.
You know, I think Cardinals have a better ball club than most think. Again, I think
I have
starting
a ton
pitching,
of Cardinals fans coming in the office, and they all said, well, we'll be lucky to finish over 500.
I mean, Wainwright's starting to come on. Carpenter's hitting the ball. I mean, Cardinal fans, don't give up. You get an ace or two in that bullpen,
absolutely,
you're going to be well above 500. I think you win the division.
And they're a young club, too.
Yeah, they are.
They are. Very young. They're going to be tough in a couple years.
Fowler, he hit a home run. Carpenter, 2 hits, but again, they fell apart. Hey, your ace, Waka, he gave up 4 runs, 7 hits, and 4+ innings. I don't see that trend continuing. Carlos Martinez, 5-5 with 2.95 ERA at Baltimore tonight, 6:05. I think Cardinals win that ball game. They're on a 6-game road trip, and Martinez is coming off his first shutout. So I do think the Cards are sitting in the driver's seat coming into the weekend. But then again, my predictions have been way off this year. Some would ask
go ahead
how
and
the
predict
heck
the
I'm
Cubs not to finish over 500, so they do, and they win the division.
Well, it's partially your fault. When you start watching the game, the Cubs lose, and that's I
know you've been texting me, asking if I'm watching the game. I didn't watch the game. They put 13, 15 runs on the board. I didn't watch any of that game.
Well, there's a common theme here. Doc, stop watching them.
I can't help it.
Dr. Rob Kelch in studio. We've talked a little bit earlier about arc support and how important it plays in one's life. We were covering the NBA Finals. Kevin Durant, your MVP of the NBA, and local boy Sean Livingston, a couple trophies. And then we just got done ribbing the Cubs and Cards. We're both kind of just in the same boat.
Right.
I'm not tuning in to watch the Cubs like I was last year. And
no, not at all.
I feel bad about that. I don't want to be that guy, but I don't know.
I don't want to be a bandwagon fan. I've always been a Cubs fan, but I'm not the diehard, I'm going to watch every game guy this year yet.
Yeah. I'll wait till I'll see. Let's see what they do around All-Star.
Right.
Doc, let's talk about these orthotics that we were mentioning earlier and how they play a pivotal part, no pun intended, on keeping people balanced. It starts at the ground, you work your way up.
Absolutely.
Simple process. You mold and cast it to their foot.
Maybe 10 minutes altogether.
Gives them a little spring in their step. I might be able to grab an 8-foot rim now. Let's talk about some of the benefits that you've heard of from people coming back in your office after they have their orthotics put in, and I'm sure you bring them back in, just test things after a little while.
Yep.
Let's elaborate a little bit more on that, Doc.
Well, the people that are already under chiropractic care, they seem to hold their adjustment a lot longer.
Why is that?
Because they're leveled on the bottom, their foundation's set up. So we can sit there and keep adjusting the pelvis and keep working on leveling that out, but if the foundation isn't level, we're constantly fighting that. So there's a doc out in South Carolina that he puts them on every patient that walks in the door. If you don't have orthotics, he will not take you as a patient. Huh. So that's his mentality. He's like, I can sit there and adjust you all day long, but if you don't have the foundation set, then I'm not gonna deal with it. So, but yeah, the benefits are endless. I had one buddy who I made him for, and it's a break-in period. You wear him the first day for an hour, the second day for 2 hours, the third day for 3 hours, so on and so forth till you get 8 hours. Well, he's a concrete finisher. He threw him on, and he was kind of a little pain there. He wore him all day long the first day, so he was hurting there a little bit after the first day. But after a while, his feet feel better. He's got a lot more support. He's not as fatigued later on the day. He doesn't have a low back pain, knee pain, ankle pain. And we don't need to judge everything by pain. It's all about functionality as well, especially the runners. Runners are the ones that I really recommend it for, especially the ones that are long-distance concrete, on the road runners, because every time they hit their foot hits the ground, 3 times their body weight goes up into the ankle and the knee and the low back.
Just flattening that foot.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. Why an hour the first day, 2 the second? Is it to slowly, gradually build the muscles?
Well, it's going to start stretching out the ligaments and the muscles in that foot because typically the foot's flat. We're going to start to put an arch into it. So you don't want to do that overnight. It takes a little bit of time, just like anything else. You can't change things that have been there for 20 plus years overnight. You
take a flat foot and you start to add arc to it. Yeah, you are moving tendons and your toes and your ankles set differently, and your knees are absorbing the shock.
Yep.
A little differently.
Yep.
It goes into your hips and lower back.
Yep. And then as far as the foot, it's going to, after that point, after you get to that break-in period, typically you're going to notice a lot of difference if you try to wear a shoe without the orthotic. At first when you put them in, it kind of feel like half a golf ball underneath your arch.
Comfortable.
And not super comfortable at first, but after a while, your foot needs it because it's used to it. When you don't have that support, you feel like you're just kind of wobbling all over the place. You're not as stable.
It's weird when came in the studio, we were talking about what we're going to talk about on the radio this morning. I was actually reading up on the arch support about 2-3 weeks ago for a client at Anytime Fitness, and I looked at my son's foot and my foot, and it's unbelievable. I took a picture. I'm not showing it because my feet are hideous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just unbelievable the wear and tear a person puts on their body. I used to weigh about 300 pounds, so 900 pounds of pressure when I'm landing.
Yep.
How my ankles not blow out?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a lot of stress on the body. Give us another testimonial or example.
Shoes wear out differently. So if you don't have the arch support, it seems like the outer part of the shoe or the inner part of the shoe will wear out. Your shoes tend to wear more evenly at that point. It's not a big deal, but that's one thing we look at when we're seeing patients is how their wear pattern is in their shoes. Another indication of what's going on with the foot. As far as people that are on their feet all day long, they seem to last longer. They're more productive overall because they're not fatiguing as much.
Well, and you think they're fatiguing because the body's fighting off the pain and trying to get the muscles in the right alignment, but it's just fighting itself all day.
Right. So the company that we use is called Soul Supports, and they provide all the arch supports for all the Navy SEALs, for about a half dozen NFL pro teams. I think there's some NBA teams in there as well. So the actual company itself is very in high demand. So especially those Navy SEALs, they're up on their feet all the time and in combat and things like that. So they make them as comfortable as they possibly can.
Yeah, and you're talking about people that need to be sharp and focused. Right. They can't have pain in their lower back or knees or what have you because their feet are distracting them.
Right.
I know when we have some long distance runners training for marathons at the health club at Anytime Fitness North Peoria, and we're talking to them, they got aches and pains, and it's like, what kind of shoes you wearing? I just went to wherever and got these Nikes. It's like, you weren't fit for those? Like, you don't have any orthotics in there? Boy, we got to get you set up before you really cause some damage.
The marathon runners are a different breed all on their own. I can't even imagine running that kind of distance at one time.
Jeff Griffin is texting into the show. I appreciate you watching, Jeff, president of the chamber. Jeff could probably use some orthotics, don't
Okay.
you think?
Sure.
He was hobbling around the office this morning like he just fought Mike Tyson. Asked him what he did. He said it was a long haul up the stairs this morning. I think he went down that
25 steps.
I think he went down that super slide last night a couple too many
Mach
times.
3.
Hey, Dr. Rob Kelch with AlignLife North Peoria in studio. Let's talk a little bit about the U.S. Open PGA Tour. They're actually mowing rough. I mean, I think the U.S. Open, as a ex-professional golfer on tour and playing a little bit this summer, on the minis, I think the U.S. Open has always been the hardest challenge in golf, with British Open being a close second if the winds get up, with the fescue. Now, up at Erin Hills in Wisconsin this week, they decided to mow some of the rough because they said the USGA's approach was that the rain came through and actually laid this fescue down. As a golfer, I can tell you if you're hitting out of dry fescue that's standing upright, you have a greater opportunity to get the club on the ball. When that fescue is laid over, you're lucky to even find your ball. You're lucky if you do find it to even put a club on it. I played in a tournament last year, Doc. Remember I displaced the bones in my hand?
That's right, yeah.
I was hitting out of dry fescue on that. I can't imagine if I was hitting out of the wet, I would have had to take it unplayable, but I tried to play it out, and I displaced, 5 bones in the joint?
Yep.
And that's what a lot of the concern from some of these top golfers in the world, and I can't blame them when they have millions of dollars riding on their health to perform every week, trying to hit out of that. But
like the old Sergio Garcia hit against the tree there years ago.
Oh, don't get me going on Sergio. My wife loves him, and all her friends, oh, Sergio. I'm like, oh, just whatever. We got Ricky Fowler leading the U.S. Open. He was sitting at 7 under. I tried to get on the leaderboard. There wasn't a whole lot of movement this morning. Weather's going to definitely be a factor. A little stat on Ricky Fowler. After he's posted a leading score at any major, he's backed it up with a 76, 76, 79. So we'll see what Ricky can do. He seemed awfully focused, hit a lot of fairways, managed the golf course, used his power to his advantage, and just thoroughly dominated that golf course yesterday. Here's another stat. All of the amateurs in the field are plus 16. Your top 10 players in the world, plus 17.
Wow.
So they were kind of breaking this down. Andy North was this morning on ESPN. The amateurs just had a big college tournament there 2 years ago, so a lot of them are familiar with the golf course, and they're playing a little bit more conservative. The PGA guys are trying to dominate. It's just finding that balance. Here's a pretty cool story. The fescue there, they bale it once a year because this fescue, there's 147 acres of it roughly. Where's that note? Yeah, 147 acres of fescue. So the superintendent there took all of his crew to a local farm, watched them bale hay. So they wanted to bale this hay. They thought they were going to obtain 500 to 600 bales the first year. They actually baled 3,480 bales. That's 138.
You hearing this, Weaver Ridge? Jeff Weaver, you love to bale hay.
138,000 pounds of hay. So they started stacking it in the corner of the golf course. They thought, what are we going to do? Superintendent went down. It's an Amish country up there. He went in to buy some furniture, and the Amish said, you know what? We could use that hay here in town. So they give the town the hay, and the town builds them benches, garbage cans, furniture for the lodges that you see in the background behind Andy North.
Win-win.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool how the community works together and it benefits everybody other than these players out there trying to hit out a 4-foot-tall fescue. I can't wait. It's Father's Day weekend. I'll be on the couch with my dad on Sunday afternoon after our round of golf. Hopefully I'm going to drum him, and he'll be buying me steak. Stay tuned for the PGA Tour, the U.S. Open. Ricky Fowler's your leader at 7 under. And Dr. Rob Kelch, kind enough to come into studio this morning. We talked about orthotics in the foot. We covered the NBA Finals, the Cubs, the Cards, and we spoke a little U.S. Open here at the end. Doc, I hope you have a great weekend.
You too, buddy.
And
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, every dad out there, enjoy your Father's Day with your kids, doing whatever it is you enjoy. My name is Doug Pinter with Anytime Fitness North Peoria. My good friend Dr. Rob Kelch up at AlignLife North Peoria. Have a great weekend, everybody.
PeoriaLife.com